Brodes Media.
A 9-5 win at Citizens Bank Park. That place was crazy. Kyle Schwarber leading things off the way that he did. I mean, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. And over the last few days, I kept getting comments on Twitter or here on the YouTube page asking me, Brodes, who do you think is going to hit the first home run? And everyone seemed to respond with Kyle Schwarber because it's an obvious choice. He's a leadoff batter, but even as potent as this offense could be, even I thought that that's too good to be true. So I picked Bryce. Imagine if Bryce walking up to the dish third in the lineup. You get one guy on, maybe JT gets out. So here's Bryce with Schwarbs on after earning a walk in a hypothetical world, and he sends it to the second deck in right field or something for the place to lose its damn mind. But no, it's Schwarbs with the full count who goes down and golfs it, and it's a no-brainer. You could see it in his eyes. He knew it the second it barreled up, and it was just magnificent. All around, you saw what this offense could be. It was just as advertised. You got to think about how strong this offense is and the damage that could be done. Castellanos did strike out 3 times, but he provided a big-time RBI for you. Probably shouldn't have went to third base. He ended up being out by a mile, and as I alluded to earlier, as I was informed that the stream kind of had some wonkiness involved, but it seems like that is all cleaned up, that going to second base, you got Bryce Harper going to second. Maybe that's part of this team's identity. Keep your foot on the gas, force other teams to make mistakes and have to throw the ball around the diamond, and then let's see what happens from there. In terms of the A's, though, and no names, the A's are sort of like the Tampa Bay Rays. At times, sometimes maybe to a minor extent, like the San Francisco Giants. It doesn't matter if you know the guys or not. They're an organization that does a lot with little in terms of, big power guys. I get it. You move on from Chapman. There's guys that you move on from and all, and you think about Sean Manaea. You think about who was on the bump for them today as well. Maybe he ends up finding himself in a Phillies uniform at one point. At the end of the day, though, when I see Aaron Nola struggling, Aaron Nola needs to be better. You can't be running out of gas like that. And if the remark back to me is it's just the first game and because of the spring training and how short it is, that won't be the case very long as he continues to get more reps. I don't know if that's necessarily true. If your offense keeps scoring, though, this is how it's going to have to be. And it might be the same way with Eflin. It might be the same way with Ranger. It might be the same way with Kyle Gibson. And it wasn't just the problem with Aaron Nola where they needed to shine and carry you because that's your identity as a team. But how about that 7th inning when Bryson Stott had some plays that should have been made? Maybe you can look at Rhys Hoskins over at first base as well. But when things got ugly with Familia and Hand in the mix, you look at the bullpen. I thought the bullpen was awesome. Seranthony Dominguez, here's the beauty of Bryson Stott. Now, we'll get to what he did at the dish because I was in awe and I loved every moment of it. And I'm pretty disappointed that I did not get invited on the field with the family afterwards to give him all the hugs in the world for playing such a great game of ball in his debut in the bigs. But if you think about his costly mistakes that happened in the 7th, the ball is kind of finding a tough time over at Bryson Stott on the left side of the infield. How did he respond in the 8th when Seranthony Dominguez was on the bump? Clean, routine plays. Easy, collect, and make a throw. And think about this. It's your first nod. It's your first attempt. Things get uncomfortable. Things look bad. Things look awful. And then the next inning, you got to shake it off and just go play again. Put it behind you. You're a cornerback. Don't let it sit. Don't let it marinate. You know who lets it marinate? Alec Bohm. You cannot have that. And Bryson Stott responded in the next inning. Now, when you go to the batting, I loved it. His first snap bat, good cut. Good cut. It ended up being caught. It was a fly ball to center field, but it's something that I acknowledge. He looks good at the plate. He gives you the single to right field. He gives you a double, unbelievable run into second base. He gets a big-time celebration there at second base, and his family's cheering him on, too, as well. Just awesome out of Bryson Stott. The kid belongs. The kid absolutely knows what he's doing at the plate. He works the count. He waits for the right pitch, and I just think pretty much majority of the time today. I really enjoyed what I saw from Bryson Stott. I just think the kid's a player. Now, there's some things to work on defensively, but keep in mind what the alternative is. And the alternative is a man named Alec Boehm, which is totally unacceptable. And I don't know how they're planning on doing that. When you look at the lineup and how they activated their lineup today, they put JT in the 2-hole. They put Gene down in the lineup and Rhys Hoskins after Nick Castellanos. I'm all right with it. The only thing that bothered me was no Mickey Moniak. And we haven't spoke since the news of Mickey Moniak that he has a broken wrist or a hairline fracture in his hand, however they're describing it. I saw 5, 6, 7 different ways that it is being mentioned. But anyway, 4 to 6 weeks, and he got hit by that pitch in spring training. It's just a damn shame because this kid was raking. You know, his OPS was over 1.2. He had 5 home runs in spring. He was hitting around 371. His slugging, awesome. And it's going to be hard. You're going to miss a big beat here. You will. He's handled a lot of adversity to this point. And we don't know if this would have necessarily translated to automatic success in the bigs. But it's the most confident we've seen Mickey Moniak look out of all of his times in spring. And it just felt different. It just looked different out there. It didn't look like the 18, 19, 20-year-old Mickey Moniak that was overpowered and overmatched, even when he was hitting home runs before, because it's not as if we've never seen Mickey Moniak have power, but it didn't feel legit. It didn't pass the smell test. Everything this spring training did, it did a lot, actually. It reeked. It reeked in a good way. It gave me that stank face of solid play. So that was the only thing that bothered me from the lineup. But, man, Knebel throwing gas. He was throwing heat nonstop, 96. Hitters don't know what to do. They're just swinging at high cheese because they got no shot in hell. How about that for a 9th inning? How about the bullpen just looking good all around? Had to work through some battles on the defensive side, but that's inevitable, and that's going to be a part of this team as a whole. Your offense carried you and scored 9 runs. Your success is all going to be generated by the power in the bats. And when you needed a response and you needed a little bit of surge, because as I alluded to, the tone changed and the feeling around the ballpark was absolutely different once Aaron Nola got murdered on the 3-2 count. And even the previous home run, it was an 0-1 count. Now, I could live with that because he was on another level and he was tearing it up. I did see some good movement with the 2-seam. I saw some really nice changeups. I saw a good breaking ball. But then on a 3-2 count over the heart of the plate, after getting knocked around a little bit there, we saw typical Aaron Nola. That's Aaron Nola's fault. I'm not telling you that Joe Girardi's an idiot for keeping him in there. I'm not doing that right now. It's too easy. Oh, the manager. The manager over 162 affects like 10 games. Stop it. It's game 1. You need to learn. Don't say, well, the track record tells me that Aaron Nola does this every game. Well, how do you know if he has changed or not? How do you know if he's going to power through last season's 2-strike issues without giving him the opportunity to? And by the way, he was mowing people down all game. He wasn't battling internally. He wasn't in stressful. These were non-stressful innings all throughout the entire game. Look, things are going to go wrong on the diamond. Players are going to fail to execute. If you're going to tell me every time something bad that happens automatically goes to Joe Girardi, which apparently that's the message already from this fan base, I'm going to be sick of it. That doesn't mean he never makes mistakes. It doesn't mean he always makes the right decision. But if you told me prior to seeing what played out, Aaron Nola cruises the way he did, and then he's going to have a little bit of a hiccup with a couple guys on, and it's going to be a full count. And in game 1 at home, Joe Girardi's going to give him a chance to work through that after some of the strikeouts you saw this outing. I'll take it any day of the week. It's not some horrendous idea. Stop acting as if he put in a position player to pitch in the 5th inning. It's not some horrendous decision. You can make a decision that has logic to it that doesn't end up succeeding. It doesn't mean the logic prior to what you see as the result didn't make any sense. What is Aaron Nola? That's what the question is. And I'm okay with Joe Girardi figuring that out on the fly.